Hi everyone, welcome to A Beer with Brad, episode 33. Tonight I'm going to talk about some prints that just arrived. But first, let's talk about the beer. Tonight I'm having a Bull Market Lager. This is a brand new beer that just came out from Kinkaider Brewing Company. Kinkaider Brewing Company was on 2 months ago in episode 31. They're out in Ord, Nebraska. But this Bull Market Lager is actually made for the Omaha area. The Bull Market is the University of Nebraska Omaha, or UNO as a lot of us call them. It is their NIL beer, so buying this beer supports that Omaha Athletics NIL initiative. So Bull Market, just a nice easy drinking lager from Kinkaider Brewing Company. Picked it up at the tap room in Exarban Village, which is right across the street from Baxter Arena, Tal Anderson Field, Connie Clausen Field, where a lot of UNO athletics take place. So cool beer, cool idea. Cross-Train also has an NAL beer out for the other University of Nebraska down in Lincoln. Also a nice, easy drinking lager. All three big schools have a beer for them now. There's a Creighton beer called Let It Fly, but I don't believe it has anything to do with the NIL, or at least if they do, they don't advertise it as that. So I kind of looked around just to double check online before filming this tonight, and didn't see anything. So these two, I'd say, are my preference for lagers. The Blue Jay one, just a little bit sweeter, just not my flavor. So anyways, Bull Market Lager. Bull Market Lager from Kinkaider Brewing Company. Cheers. So, since I've talked to you last, a lot's happened. Just got back, just got back, but a few weeks ago I was out in Colorado for a couple days, and then in Wyoming. Between the two, trip was 9 days long. Started out in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, or in that general vicinity. Spent about 2 days in Colorado photographing it, and then went up and spent several days up in the Tetons by Jackson Hole, Wyoming, photographing in Grand Teton National Park, and then kind of on the last day moved a little bit further south, found some really neat Badlands areas down, kind of back towards the southern half of Wyoming, towards the Interstate 80. Made it a little bit of an easier drive in the morning to hop on and head home. Overall, it was a great trip. Did have a little car trouble. It was kind of funny. Rented a car. It was going to be a lot of miles, and my car's getting way up there, so I rented one, and then the rental car had some issues. Oil cap popped off, and the car started smoking, so had a little panic moment on the way out there, but once I got the oil cap on and topped off the oil and washed the car, everything was fine, went smooth. Car ran great the rest of the time. It had all these new electronic features on it that I wasn't used to, but after 9 days of playing with all the features, it was pretty cool. So then I got home and hopped back in my old car and remembered how much I liked it too. So another thing coming up is the annual Beer with Brad holiday sale. I don't have a date yet, and that's 100% my fault. I have not spent any time working on that. I should have been planning that all this month, and I just kind of dropped the ball on that. It's just been so busy. Once I got back into town, I also brought a cold home with me, like everyone else that seems to be traveling right now. So I had a pretty unproductive week, followed up by just being real busy with everything. So hopefully I'll get that date nailed down soon, and I'll get that put on all my social media and get it out there for everyone to see. And then I'll have one more Beer with Brad video. Episode 34 should come out right before that, so I'll be able to remind you for that. So looking forward to that. That's always a lot of fun. Hoping to do it at the Casual Pint again. I haven't talked to them, but at the end of last year they told me that it was I'm welcome back anytime. So hopefully we'll get on that. So if you remember, last month I showed you a bunch of black and white photos, and there was one that I found that I had not ever processed, had never really done anything with, and I told you how all of a sudden it became like my favorite photo from that trip. So since then I have ordered a print. This is a 12 by 18 print. I was ordering some other prints for a photo order that someone placed on my website, so I just threw this in with them just because I wanted to see how it looked. And I don't know how it's turning out on the camera, but you really need the light to hit that. It's that Fuji Crystal Archive paper, so the light on the print is all the difference. But it's even better in print than it was online or on the computer screen. So super happy with this. Can't believe that I didn't process it, but really cool. I can't wait to get something big. Maybe not this big, or maybe not that metal, but something cool with this. I have some ideas. Gonna try to work on that. Maybe not till after the holidays, but I have a really cool idea with this. So hopefully, stay tuned. Hopefully, get something out one of these days to show you what I'm gonna do. But just can't believe. I mean, I showed my buddy Josh, who I went to Wyoming with, picture of it, and just a cell phone picture of the image here. He said that the clouds almost look 3D, and it's just, I don't know, they really do have some kind of real cool look to them. And just the whole scene, the shadows and the contrast and everything. Really dig that one. There is one hot spot right there in the clouds I might need to take another look at. It never showed up as being blown out on the computer screen, but in the print it does look like it has lost all detail there. So I'll take one more look at that before I print anything big. But overall, really cool. So these two just arrived today about 11 o'clock this morning. And so I figured I'm going to cut them open and use them for my beer's bed. I had a couple different ideas of what I wanted to talk about tonight, but nothing I was really sold on, or there's some other ideas I have that I just wasn't prepared for. And there was one point that I almost thought that I would delay this episode a week, which would ruin my streak of, even though I've had a couple technical issues where they haven't come out on time, they've always been filmed on time, and they've always been uploaded with the intent of coming out on time. So these two show up today, and I'm like, you know what? Change of plans, scrap what I was kind of thinking about doing, and I will show you these two, and another one sitting over here. They are 35 or 30 inches tall, 45 inches wide, metal prints. We've talked about the metal prints before. It is actually printed, the image is printed on a transfer paper, and with heat it is pressed onto the metal. It gives it a really cool look. I almost compare it to like a high definition television, and just a really clean modern look. They look good, and about any setting. You can see I don't have them hanging because normally there's kid pictures here, so I just have them set on the bookshelf tonight. But normally they hang about a half inch or a quarter inch off the wall, just about what you see here. They look like they're floating, and you can frame them. There's some different things you can do with them. There's some different back treatments you can do to them, but this is just kind of the traditional metal with it. Has a frame on the back. I'll grab the other one and show you in a minute, but this one we talked about last month. This is from my trip to Valentine's several years back. It's a sunrise photo with the windmill, reflection in the horse tank out in the grass sand hills. Just a really cool image. There's just a little bit of motion blur. You can see even more. It's more noticeable in the large print here, but it still looks cool. It's one of those things that also, I like it. I wish it almost had a little bit more motion blur, just so you could see that it was really moving, but overall, really cool picture. And then this is over near Missouri Valley, Iowa. I was out shooting fall colors one night, got a really cool sunset. Didn't really have a place to go. I saw 3 metal grain silos off in the distance, so I drove as fast as I could off to the silos. Didn't really care for that picture. I mean, it was just kind of blah. Even it had an awesome sunset above 3 silos, so it wasn't the most interesting picture. And I looked off in the distance and I could see this, and I believe it is a Minneapolis Moline tractor off in the weeds off to the side. So ran over there and just kind of came together for a really cool picture. You got a nice sunset. This one's sunset, sunrise. Cool old tractor. Got the weeds growing up through it. There's some nice side lighting. I don't know how well it's coming across on this camera here. This is a hard picture. In the right setting, the lighting on this thing glows. It looks really cool. And in the bad settings or bad lighting, if it was in a dark room or just an oddly lit place, it probably doesn't look the best. But there is some nice side light on the tractor. Really nice side light on the rim. These grasses over here are picking up some of the pink light off the clouds too. And then you got over on the hills, the bluffs over below those hills. It's kind of dark, just fades off in the back. It's actually really perfect to have that really dark back there. Puts your emphasis right on the tractor. So Really cool. Let me step over here and grab this other one. So before I flip this one around, I just want to show you the back. This has a hanging system on the back. You can see this particular brand here has the two sawtooth, one there on the right and one here on the left, where you can hook it onto a nail or a screw. Some of the others I've used in the past come with a little bar that you screw to the wall. Probably that bar would probably be a little easier to get it leveled, but switch to this brand. I'll tell you about it in a minute. New printer I'm using for metals. So flip this around, and this is an aerial photo. I don't even know if I can get up high enough. There we go. Aerial photo of a combine during corn harvest. This was taken, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago here right outside of Omaha. And this is one of those photos that was total pure luck. This was not planned. I was not out waiting for the combine to come around the corner. I was actually out photographing a new neighborhood from the helicopter. And as we got done at the end of the neighborhood, went to turn around and go back and kind of hit the neighborhood from a different angle. And I look down and I see this combine, and I just turned quickly, got the shot off as the helicopter pilot was kind of turning away from the scene. So some of my favorite photos are unplanned photos, and this is totally in the case of the unplanned photos. So really cool. I like this one too. A lot of the fields around here are real straight. This one is in a really hilly part of right outside Omaha, and so the terraces run along the hill at parallel elevations, so it kind of makes these really neat curved lines. There's some things that I wish weren't in there. There's a little flooded area with a ditch and a little riser structure in there to kind of drain the water out of it. It's one of those things that, like, in a perfect world I wouldn't have that in there, but it's just kind of like the blur in a windmill. I mean, it just shows that it's a real photo. No one would put that in there as, if it was, you know what I mean? It's just, the imperfections make things real. I learned that from Ben Horn. Back in the day I would have hated that, but I've watched enough of his videos where he always is talking about imperfections making the photo seem more realistic, and I totally agree with this one. All the farm fields around here have that. Is it the prettiest thing to look at? No, but it's part of farming. So cool photo. I'm gonna set this down real quick. So these metal prints tonight came from a different photo lab. Earlier this year I was at my art fair at Countryside Village, and a guy showed up, and we were talking about prints and photography, and he knew a ton about photography. He'd been to a photography school out in California years ago, shot on film, had all sorts of great photography stuff to talk about, and they asked me if I ever heard of a photo lab called McKenna Pro Photo, which I had not. And so he explained they were a small family photo lab just across the river in Iowa, and been around since like 1969, and gave me all kinds of great information about them. And so I tried out there a while back. I tried out one metal print from them, and it turned out great. And so kind of ever since then, that's what I've been using for all my metal prints. Duraplex, I've got my metal prints from Duraplex for a long time now. They do an awesome job, but the thing with them is that their lead time is 2 weeks, and then they ship, and a lot of times it goes over that 2 weeks just a little bit, and then they ship from Denver to Omaha, which takes another 3 days. And then sometimes I don't understand this, it's a Denver company, but then I'll get the shipping will come from Tennessee, so then it takes another day. McKenna, their lead time is 3 days. They've turned around every single order I've had in one day, literally like one morning. These prints here, the 3 of them, they're huge metal prints, 30 by 45. I sent the order in at about 9 or 10 o'clock on Monday night, and then they printed them Tuesday morning. They were shipped by 2 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon, and these were at my house by 11 o'clock on Wednesday morning. So awesome turnaround. They are close enough that they don't use FedEx or UPS. They have a local delivery service that delivers them over here for very, very little amount of money compared to the big companies. And basically I'm getting overnight shipping from Iowa to Omaha, not a big deal, for no extra charge. So instead of going from 2, 3, sometimes pushing 4 weeks for a metal print, I'm getting them in 2 days right now. Now I've asked them, I said, is that going to keep up during the holidays as your lead time? And they said, we try to do everything we can to make sure that we always, for every print or every order, we always try to hit that 3 days. But they said that the delivery company doesn't always get the overnight deliveries during the holidays. So, it might take them an extra day or two. But even worst case scenario, McKenna takes 3 days and the delivery service takes 3 days, that's still 6 days, which is pretty awesome, because I guarantee you, if I ordered a print from someone else and they were shipping it FedEx during the holidays, I'd be stressing that that picture would get lost, not show up, or just show up super late. So been really happy with the quality so far. They're a little bit different hanger on the back, but the actual, and there's nothing wrong with the hanger on the back, it's just a little bit different, but the actual photo quality itself has been awesome. There's not been one print where I have had any issues with that is McKenna's fault at all. Everything's been flawless. So I also got this black and white. This is also from McKenna. Also printed in 1 day, delivered the next day. The cool thing about this is, in the past I always used Fuji Crystal Archive paper. It was kind of my preferred choice for paper. And then when Aspen Creek kind of started merging under the radar with Bay Photo, that photo paper went away. But McKenna has it. It's, I don't know, happy to have it back. It's really looking cool. So, been happy with everything about them so far. Still get some stuff done here locally. Tim still does all my canvases. Does a great job with those. Well, thanks again for tuning in again this month, episode 33. Can't believe how high they're getting already. Hope you're enjoying your bull market lager from Kinkaider. Like I said, I got this down at the tap room in Exarban. I haven't seen it anywhere else yet, but who knows? I'm sure it'll probably end up around town before long. And it'll be Thanksgiving here before we know. Before I talk to you again, it'll be Thanksgiving. Hopefully you all have a great Thanksgiving. Hopefully also maybe around Thanksgiving I'll start having some trip videos ready for to put out from my trip to Wyoming and Colorado. Like last time, I want to get at least half of them done so that it's not, in the past I always had a problem where I get 1 or 2 out and then there's a long gap and then the rest of the series will come out. So hopefully I'll get them out so when they start coming out they will be every week or every other week until they are all done. And then I was just looking the other day, I still haven't done anything with my Santo Crane trip from March. So maybe it's about time I work on those too. Of course, that might be a good time to get those ready just before next train season, so everyone will be all fired up for that. But anyway, I got tons of work to do. I got tons of content to put out. I got tons of photos to share with you. I've already shared a few on my social media of the trip, so keep your eyes peeled. There'll be a lot more, including one of the most famous grizzly bears in the world. Well, thanks again for tuning in this month, and we'll see you again next time.